Hello everyone, welcome to lesson number 10. Alright, so this is the last video on factorizing. This video is suitable for the grade 12 extended mathematics and grade 10 to 11 mathematics new curriculum. So we are looking at factorizing quadratic trinomials. So remember the polynomial, so this one is a trinomial. So it's a polynomial with 3 terms. So 3 means 3 and nomials the terms. Okay, so when you're factorizing a quadratic trinomial, you need to make sure that it's a quadratic trinomial. How do you make sure? Because the leading term, or one of the terms, not always the leading term, so one of the terms, the variable has an exponent of 2, but others is either it has a 1 or there is no variable, there is no x variable, and then you know for sure that I am given a quadratic trinomial. So how do you factorize a quadratic trinomial? You must identify a and c. So a is a coefficient of the leading term, or the term with the highest exponent, with a variable with the highest exponent, and then c is a constant, a number on its own. It does not have a variable x, or does not have any other letter. Okay, it doesn't have a letter, in fact, just a whole number. It could be a fraction. So once you figure out a and c, you should now find the product of a and c. Okay, and then after that, a and c, if you add up a and c, they should give you b. So let me just say a plus c should give you b. So then you know for sure that you are doing the right thing. So if you add a and c, they will give you b, but if you multiply a and c, they should give you c. Alright, then once you get that, you should now replace b by what you got here, by the factors that you got. And then after that, you can now factorize by grouping. You're going to end up with 4 terms, and then you factorize by grouping. Now, let us look at this. Let us look at the first one here. I have a squared minus 5x minus 6. So I know for sure that this is a quadratic trinomial. Why? Because I have a squared, and then I have minus 5x. So this is exponent 1, and this is my c. So I can say that a is positive 1 because there's an invisible in front of a squared. Then the c is negative 6. So if I multiply a times c, I'll get negative 6. So meaning that if I multiply 1 times negative 6, I'll get negative 6. So now I should look for factors of negative 6. And negative 6 has 2 pairs of factors. I have 1 and 6, because 1 times 6 is 6, and then it has 2 and 3. Now, if I add those 2 factors, they should be able to give me negative 5. Now, looking at my factors 1 and 6, if I add them up, they'll give me 7. If I add up 2 and 3, they'll give me positive 5. But I'm looking for negative 5. So how do I make sure that I have the correct factors? So sometimes you need to manipulate your factors, and I think this is a tricky part when it comes to this method. All right. So there are I think there are about 3 methods of factorizing quadratic trinomials. So I'm showing you one of them. And the tricky part of this method is identifying which factor is going to be positive and which one is going to be negative. So now I have 1 and 6. 1 and 6, I know they're going to work. So I want to make sure that if I add 1 and 6, they should give me negative 5. So I'm going to make 6 a negative, because 1 plus negative 6 will give me negative 5. Let's try multiplying. Let's try this. What if I multiply what I just discovered? Let's see. So I have positive 1. Then I multiply that with, come on. And then I multiply that with negative 6. I want to see if I can get negative 6. Yes, that's what we got. So if I add them up, they'll give me negative 5. But if I multiply them, they'll give me negative 6. So I'm right. So what is going to happen is that I am going to replace now this minus 5x by, I want you to look at this. Copy, paste. Look at this. X minus 6x should give me minus 5x. So I'm replacing this term by the two factors, which is 1 and negative 6. So it's 1 minus, so 1x minus 6x will give me minus 5x. So, and if I do that, now I end up with 4 terms. I can factorize by grouping. Let's do that. Now I can factorize by grouping. So the first two terms, the common factor, which is x, so x squared divided by x, I'll get x. X divided by x, I'll get 1, and then I have my first term. And then the last two terms also have the highest common factor of 6. So if I divide minus 6x divided by negative 6, I'll get positive x. And if I divide negative 6 by negative 6, I'll get positive 1. As you can see, the two brackets have the same information. So what I need to do now is to factorize out the common factor, which is x plus 1, and then what is outside, x minus 6, will be in the other bracket. Yes, that is now how to factorize quadratic trinomials. I know there are two more methods, but please try to understand this one. Let's look at this one. I have 11a squared minus 12a plus 1. I want to factorize that, so I will identify a and c. So a is positive 11 and c is positive 1. So I want factors of 11 in such a way that if I add them up, the sum of them, the sum of a and c should give me, so it's a plus c should give me minus 11. Come on. But if I multiply the same two factors, a and c, they should give me positive 11. So now you know that 11 is it's an odd number. It's a prime number. It is only two factors, 1 and itself. So I need to make sure that I'll get negative 11 by making everyone negative. So negative 1 plus negative 11, I'll get negative 12. And if I multiply them, negative 1 times negative 11, I'll get positive 11. Voila, I got it right. What I need to do now is just replace. Again, I'm going to replace this. So let me show you. So I'll replace center it minus 12 pi minus a minus 11a, that should give me minus 12a. So I'm going to replace this 12a by minus a minus 11a. Okay, and if I do that, I can now factorize by grouping. The first two have common factor, which is a, that will give me 11a minus 1, and then the last two also have a common factor, which is minus 1. So minus 1 will be outside, then I'll get 11a minus 1. So the two brackets have the same information. So factorizing out the common factor, I'll get open bracket 11a minus 1 times open bracket a minus 1 close the bracket. So my dear friends, so what I want you to do is to try part C, and then you try out these mixed activities. So this has everything that we have been doing, from factorizing out the common factor, factorizing by grouping, a difference between two squares, and quadratic trinomials. Okay, please do not hesitate to contact me on WhatsApp with your answers so I can confirm whether they are right or you need to do the correction.